My vision is just to shine a light on artists, give them an opportunity and a space to tell their story, expose people to the music, and who these artists are as people. Just looking to introduce artists to audiences and audiences to artists. This is for them. This is for us. There was a golden era for pop music, I would say, ranging from the mid 90s into the early 2000s. We had pop stars with the likes of Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, and crossover artists like Jennifer Lopez. Another huge thing during that time were groups of men crooning their hearts out to the ladies, such as NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, 98 Degrees. You get the picture. Right around the year of 2000, we saw many of our faves break into new avenues, whether it was people like Justin Timberlake and Nick Carter going on to be solo acts, or Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears turning to producers like the Neptunes and hopping on tracks with rappers to break out of their bubblegum, teeny bopper sound to look for more edge. As these things began to happen, lines for pop music began to blur. But we also had acts like Destiny's Child, Usher, and Aaliyah on the rise. But when it came to where their albums were filed in FYE, shout out to anyone who actually knows what that is, and award season, folks like Destiny's Child and Usher seem to always be relegated to the urban categories and characterized as R&B, which a large part of it was, but not all of it. You can see where and how we've arrived today in the year 2023. Pop music could be explained as the most popular music at the time, or pop music can be categorized as a particular sound. Song sequence, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, fade out with light, stars, glitter. It's challenging to figure out where it lands, which is why I am so excited to sit down with this brother today to ask him about his music journey, his take on pop, and where it's been, where it is, and where it's headed, and why pop is so important to him. So without further ado, JaredDHoward. So Jared, once again, thank you for just swinging by, chopping it up today. I just wanted to dive in and get to know you as an artist, get to know your journey, what led you on the path to finally start music. So I want to know about little Jared. Jared, probably, I would say middle school, elementary school. What were you like? What were you involved in? What were you in the middle of?
Little Jared. So elementary school, I wasn't involved in anything per se that was musical on a consistent basis outside of church. Okay. We were a big church family, yeah. So we were a big church family, so most of my time was spent there. But then middle school is when I started to get into things like marching band. Okay. And so that's when I really started to discover, different musical talents that I had during that time. So yeah, I was a handful to a certain extent. I wasn't out of control or anything, but I had a lot of energy.
Nice. So when was the first time you realized I can do this? I'm made to do this. Was there a particular person? You know how the aunties hype us up when we're little and they're like, you gonna be something one day, baby. You gonna be somebody one day.
It's not necessarily that one particular person said anything to me. It's just kind of always been a thing. The people I meet, whether it's been teachers or, people at church or people in the neighborhood, they've always told me that they thought there was something special about me. Granted, I didn't know what that meant. I'm just like, oh, okay, thanks. That's so nice. But being older and looking back and seeing how consistent that message was toward me kind of just eventually opened my mind to say, maybe they're not just talking. Maybe you actually are a little something special. So that's pretty much where that came from.
That's so dope. It's wild, what people speak into us, how far it can actually carry us and take us through life. Affirmation is so important, and it sounds like they kind of, gave you that affirmation.
Yeah, it just always stuck with me. Even through high school, all of the clubs and organizations I was involved in, of course, still being a part of the marching band, it's just always been something that followed me. And I never necessarily understood why, but I was grateful enough to see that other people saw something like that in me.
It's nice. So growing up, like, who were you listening to? Like, what was in your, I guess it would be like iPod?
I actually grew up
CD
heavily
player?
on CD players.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted an iPod so bad, but they were like, "You're not getting an iPod, so hang that up." So I was a CD burner.
Okay.
So as long as we had a CD burner, it was cool. But the question is, who wasn't I listening to? So my brother's a big Outkast fan, and so growing up, when we did share a room, I was, of course, forced to be an Outkast fan, which turned out to be a great thing because I love both Andre and Big Boy. I was the pop kid in the house, so I listened to a lot of the NSYNCs, the Britneys, the Day 26, Danny Kane, those type of things.
Yes, that's an era right there.
Yeah.
That's an era.
I'm a big group fan, so.
Okay.
So I primarily was listening to a lot of pop, R&B, of course. Then my parents, they have very eclectic musical tastes. For instance, the two artists that stood out most to me that my mother would consistently listen to were Janet Jackson and Toni Braxton.
Okay.
So granted, she listened to a lot of other things, but those were the two that consistently in my head was like, okay, these are, I like them.
Yeah.
So then my dad, he had like, what wasn't, he's the one that's like, what don't you listen to? So yeah, so a little bit of everything.
Okay. Those are definitely two like heavy hitters for
absolutely.
sure. Like
Living
they're
legends, icons.
Yeah. If they're like the bar, then you're you have good models. You have good models. How did you like actually get started on the music side? Like as far as like writing, did you write? Did someone write a song for you that you performed or?
All of my music, actually, I've written it. I've had a little help here and there, but primarily about 98% of the music that I sing I've written. So I went through a few trial and errors, tried the group thing a few times. Never really worked out. And then I just kind of was like, all right, well, maybe I'm just not meant to be in the group. Let's just try it. Let's see what happens. And so I just started writing. I mean, I've always been a writer, even in that group setting. Even when I was younger, I would write songs here and there, you know, never thinking anything of it. It's just like, oh, okay, this is fun.
Yeah.
But in my adult age, I just one day was like, all right, let's try it again. And here we are.
Yeah. That's so exciting. This is going to be hard, right?
Okay.
So brace yourself. But if you could give a soundtrack to your childhood and pick 3 songs, that's why I was like, I know it's going to be hard. Like top 3 songs that kind of soundtracked your childhood, or like when you look back to childhood, stood out to you, were super prominent, were super influential to you. Like, what comes to mind?
Okay. Okay. First, we're gonna go with PYT, Michael Jackson.
Okay.
We're going to go with Morris Brown by Outkast.
Okay.
And we're gonna go with You Brought the Sunshine by the Clark Sisters.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You brought it. You brought the fire with those 3. Like, that definitely shows, like, your gospel background and growing up in the church. The Outkast, like you said, you were forced to listen to Outkast because the siblings that you were sharing a room with, like, that's all that they were playing. Okay, that's good. I like it. What informs your music process? Like, what makes you put it out there into the world? Because a large reason why I started this platform was not only to give artists an opportunity to shine and to put y'all on to other people, or other people onto y'all, but also so that anyone else who's out there and they're sitting on ideas or they're sitting on music or wanting to perform, but they're letting fear kind of like overtake them or overcome them. I wanted to speak to people who have released music and who have put things out into the world, just so that, you know, they can be encouraged and learn how to overcome that initial fear and that shock.
I just have to I have to like it first.
Okay.
It's one thing, of course, for other people to like it, but if I ultimately don't like it, then I don't necessarily want to put that out, because what if that's the song that pops and I'm like, well, I really don't like that one.
Yeah,
and now I'm stuck singing that for, yeah, I'm like, oh man.
Now you're singing it for the next
Exactly.
10 years.
I'm like, I really don't even like, it was just something to put out. So I'm always trying to put myself in the mindset of, do I genuinely like this as a music consumer?
Okay.
That's first. And then once I get over that, once I start brainstorming ideas and whatnot, it's kind of just the execution. Like, okay, how can we execute this the way you want to? Because of course, we don't have the record label budgets, we have a salary budget. So once I just start formulating ideas, and the more they cultivate together, the more confident I become in releasing the projects and wanting to put something out to just show people that, one, you can put out substantial quality content without the large budget, and you also can do whatever you put your mind to. It's never necessarily about getting the validation from someone else or the approval from someone else, because I'm a firm believer in that we get one life, so I'd rather try something, fail, and not like it, as opposed to living and saying, well, what if I did try it? What if I actually would have gone through it? If that's something, I would have continued on with my life. So I'd rather live life to the fullest than in what ifs.
That's so important. That's so good. Like, and as you're saying that, I'm like, okay, Jackie, like, take note. Like, this is for you too. Like, don't be sitting on ideas and stuff, wondering what if.
Because it's never about starting perfect. It's about starting strong and growing from that. So it's never going to be perfect. Never. It's never going to be. There's always going to be something that's like, it's white, but I want it to be like pure white, or the light is bright, but I want it to be like slightly darker. So, you're always going to find something that's not perfect about it. So put out your best at that current moment in your life, whatever your best is at that time, and grow from that.
The hardest part is always starting. But like, I love that you mentioned that, because I don't think a lot of times we allow ourselves like the grace or the room to grow and know, like, eventually at some point, like, you're going to get better. Like, the more you continue to do it, like, the better you're going to get. Okay, let's rewind for a second. What feelings come up for you when, like, it's time to finally release? Like, when it's time to finally put your music on Apple Music or Spotify or Tidal, or you're putting a music video up? Like, what feelings come up for you a lot of times?
I'm usually very excited. There's also a lot of nerves that come with it as well, because I do know, as an independent artist, of course, I'm not necessarily making the most mainstream music. So I'm usually nervous about the reception as opposed to the opinions. Okay. So it's more so of I'm excited to put out because, again, I liked it first already. So no matter what anybody else has to say about it, at the end of the day, I liked it and I wanted to put it out, and that's why it's out there, because I'm not tied to a label or anything. Someone's holding a gun to my head saying, go sing this, or you're out of here. So I'm happy first. So just being nervous about the reception of others, just hoping that those who do like me enjoy this just as much as I do.
Do you get nervous anymore?
Oh, absolutely. I'm nervous every time I have to do anything. I just always want to do a good job. So that's pretty much it. I don't get like stage fright or anything of that nature. It's just me being hard on myself per usual, and just wanting to make sure that I'm giving my best efforts, and that the audience that paid to come see whatever it is that I'm performing are getting a quality performance. So it's usually just nerves of wanting to do my best.
Yeah.
But as far as like performing, no, I love it. So it's fun.
Have you ever had like a stage fright moment, or like a freeze moment?
I don't think I've ever had a stage fright moment. I've had moments where something happened and it kind of shook me for a bit, like little mess ups here and there, and it's kind of like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. But no, I don't think so.
Okay. How do you like bounce back from those moments when it's like,
you gotta keep
that
going.
wasn't supposed to happen?
This show must go on. You can't stop. I mean, because at the end of the day, the audience does not know what is and isn't supposed, unless it's something blatantly obvious, like a light falling from the ceiling. Like, of course, I did not plan for the lights to come crashing down, but the mess ups I'm referring to are more so of no one will know unless I say something. But since I know what I was supposed to do, it's always like, you're messing up, what are you doing? So
So in the intro, I talked about like this up and down with like pop music. Ooh. Like, I feel like in the mid 90s to like early 2000s, like there was like a very like definitive sound. And I personally, like, I call myself an R&B connoisseur. So lately, as I'm hearing like R&B is becoming pop, it's like nails on a chalkboard to me for some reason. So I wanted to know, like, what is for you, like, what do you think the direction of pop music is going in? Because I'm like, you have the Biebers and the Ariana Grandes who are dabbling into the R&B, but to me, they're very much still pop. Like, is pop whatever's most popular at the time? Is it a particular sound?
So to me, I know specifically in industry standards, pop music is whatever the popular genre is at that time, which is why all of a sudden everybody started rapping, and I'm like, I can't do that. Can we please not all do that? Can we please do something else? So, and now that R&B is becoming even more mainstream, it's now probably going to be considered pop music. But pop music to me has a specific distinctive sound. So that's why I equate certain artists, and I do appreciate those who have come before me who are still making music now that are staying in that pop lane. They're not necessarily shunning what is trending at that time, but they're taking it and making it completely pop as opposed to a cross-blended sound. Like, for instance, the Katy Perrys and the Lady Gagas, they know how to keep their sound current and adapt to current day techniques while still saying this is the pop version of what everyone is listening to right now, as opposed to the other pop artists who are, okay, well, the R&B sound is trending right now, let me do that, and just, since they already consider me pop, we're just gonna say this is pop now too, or, okay, well, everybody's rapping, we need a trap beat, we need an 808, so, but since it's me and I'm considered a pop artist, then they're gonna consider it pop, and it's like, it's a specific sound that equates to pop music. And then granted, it does change. Like, of course, those early 2000s, late 90s, it was like the bubblegum pop, the Britney, the Christina. And then like the 2010s, it was all the EDM. That was the pop sound. But it still had that distinctive light feeling of pop music that was completely different from R&B and hip hop. And now we're just in this cross-blended thing. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with crossing genres, because it's music, do whatever you want. But to consider this specific genre under a certain umbrella of sound, it's one thing to be influenced by something else, and it's completely different to be copying aspects of that and slapping a different title on it.
And I think what else was very interesting to me anyway is you have, like I said, kind of like in the early 2000s, you had like the Destiny's Childs, the Ushers, the Beyoncés, who were making pop music, but they were always like relegated to R&B. So I'm like, what is
and
that?
And I hate it so much. I hate it. So I'm like, that's not fair. Like, no, black people can make pop music. It's like, why is that the thing? Because especially now with like TikTok, all of the white kids are like trying to sing like R&B singers now. And that's why I feel like it's gonna be a high surge of white R&B singers soon, and then it's gonna become pop music because it's white people singing it, as opposed to when black people go sing pop, it's still considered R&B because they're black. And I'm like, listen, where's the happy medium here? Just, hopefully something changes very soon, because I don't fit the bill. So I need something to work in my favor over here.
And you're very specific about being like, I make pop music.
Yes, because I feel like it's not fair for me to be considered an R&B singer when I'm intentionally making pop. Like, I'm intentionally making pop music. I'm choosing beats that are relative to pop sounds. Like, granted, you know, you may have vocal R&B tendencies in your voice, but that's, you know, how you're able to use your influences. That's an influence choice. As opposed to the specific sound, this is a pop sound, and you're not gonna tell me it's R&B because I'm black. I know it's not. I know what R&B sounds like. I'm black.
I grew up, like you said, I grew up in the crib listening to Tony Braxton, so I know what R&B sounds like.
And this is not it, so stop telling. And then in the same token, back to being black, we don't have a lot of black people stapling in pop music. So that's why I'm like, no, let me stay over here.
You're
it's like, maybe like 4 of them over there.
I'm not rap on a track.
I can't do it.
That ain't me.
I don't see that for me. So that was another thing. I'm trying to make music I wish someone else was creating. So I don't necessarily have a black male pop star who makes music that I truly identify with to look up to. So I started making it.
So, because we are talking about pop music, we're gonna play a little game. We're gonna test Jared's pop music knowledge. And we're going to play a little game called Don't Forget the Lyrics. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to feed you some lyrics.
Okay.
And then based off of those lines, you gotta finish the lyrics. I kind of do want you to sing though. I kind of want you to finish it out, like sing it out.
We gonna sing.
All right.
I'm focused on winning the game first.
Okay.
So I gotta make sure I know the lyrics.
Trying to get in the zone. All right, so first song. I'm doing this tonight. You're probably gonna start a fight. I know this can't be right. Hey baby, come on.
I know
I've loved you endlessly when you weren't there for me, so now it's time to leave and make it alone.
I know that I can't take no more. It ain't no. Okay. I was right. I'm like, I know these lyrics. That's bye bye bye.
Yes.
In sync.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
One down. One
down. All right. So second song is. You may look at me and think that I'm just a young girl, but I'm not just a young girl, baby. This is what I'm looking for.
Sexy, independent, kind of fitness, types of getting is dough. It says goodies, Sierra.
Yes. All right.
Shout out to Riverdale.
We 2 for 2.
Okay, we 2 for 2.
All right, third song. My loneliness is killing me, and I must confess I still believe when I'm not with you, I lose my mind.
Give me a sign. Hit me, baby, one more time. Britney Spears.
Yes.
Yes. I want her to get the Super Bowl so bad. I want her big comeback performance to be a Super Bowl.
Okay.
I want that to be the world's apology.
Yeah, like her first.
We're sorry.
Right.
And she's like, all right, I'm back. I'm still Britney. Here's a exactly. Yeah, I really want her to get the Super Bowl.
Okay, I can see it. All right, so last song. This one might be.
Okay. I was about to say the first 3 was too easy, so I feel like the fourth one is what it's going.
This one might be that one. All right. Shine a light through an open door. Love and life I will divide. Turn away 'cause I need you more. Feel the heartbeat in my mind. It's the way that I'm feeling, I just can't deny. But I've got to let it go.
We found love in a hopeless way. I just went down the Rihanna rabbit hole. So I'm fresh on Rihanna.
Okay.
This is We Found Love. She does it for me.
You did good. You did good. You killed it.
You know, my pop title didn't get snatched. I'm a pop kid. So I was nervous.
I tried to put like a little mix. Like I had like the traditional, like the Britney Spears and the NSYNCs. But then I was like, Sierra could go either way. So I put Sierra in there.
You good. You did.
I appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, that's dope. You got off for a song. Thank you for playing the game. Thank you for dropping by today. Like,
no problem.
No, you did good. You did great. You killed it. I'm gonna have to find a way to make it harder, I think, after this.
You know, we'll have a round two. I gotta brush up. You know, I'll do some studying beforehand now that I know what's going on. So we good.
Well, I don't know. We might switch it up.
You're right.
We might switch it up for you. But thank you so much for coming by today. I do want to give you the opportunity to let the people know, like, where can they find you? What are you working on? What's up next?
All right. So you can find me on all social media at officialjdhoward. That is Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Once again, thank you. Thank you for dropping by. Thanks for your time, for chatting it up. I know you're, like I said, you're booked, you're busy, you're blessed, like, you're all over the place. So
We try. You know, we just got to say thankful, you know. Keep going, keep that drive up.
Well, thank you, Jared. So thank you all for tuning in, for joining us. Don't forget to like, to share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until next time, peace.
A daughter of the sunshine, but every blue moon I come alive at night. I like lace and I like braids, but I love my natural edges laid from the east side, building on the west coast. My high tolerance for pain don't free in my mind.